Today, we're going to build an attack helicopter using 15 Lego pieces.
These are all the pieces you are going to need. In the description of this video, I left the piece names, count, and design IDs.
We're going to start with a 1x4 plate piece. And on the front stud of that 1x4 plate piece, I'm going to grab a translucent black cheese wedge slope. And this is going to be the canopy of our helicopter. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the thin end in front and it slopes up to the back. And now behind the cheese wedge slope, I've got that stud. I want to raise it up a little bit. So I'm going to get a 1x1 plate in the same color as our helicopter because, you know, if it's a military helicopter, the colors change based on like where the combat's taking place in the environment. But I'm going to get that 1x1 plate, put it on that stud right behind the cheese wedge slope. And then once I've got that in place, I'm going to grab a 1x1 tile piece in that translucent black color and put it right on top of the 1x1 plate to create that kind of curved canopy that you see in an attack helicopter. Now on the next stud, the next center stud there on my 1x4 plate, I'm going to create the wings. And to do that, I'm going to grab a 1x3 plate. And on the 1x3 plate, you got those two anti-studs, you got in the space between them, right where it lines up to that center stud. I'm going to put it so that center stud lines up with the stud on my 1x4 plate, and it's nice and centered, so it's nice and even for my wings. And once those are on, I can build the tail, and the tail is built with another 1x3 plate piece. And what we're going to do is we're going to attach to the very last stud of my 1x4 plate that I started with so that they're touching and even, and that's the tail of my helicopter. Now that's a 1-point connection, that's a 1-point connection, so to make this more secure, I'm going to grab a 1x2 plate and put it onto the center stud of that 1x3 plate, the side stud of this 1x3 plate, so it's right in the center, and I've got them nice and secure. Now once I got this nice firm body, I'm going to start putting the cannons and guns on this attack helicopter to make it lethal. Now for the front cannon, the front machine gun, I'm going to grab a minifigure hand. And for the minifigure hand, you get that part that kind of shoots up a little bit higher. It's like the top of the minifigure hand when they're holding their hands up. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put it onto the very front of my helicopter underneath that 1x4 plate. And now this can be really difficult to get in. A trick I have learned is you kind of take like the fingertips and put it right against the anti-stud and just lift up and push up like that. And there's the front cannon secured, ready to attack those enemies on the ground. Now, for the side cannons, you got those big old like rocket launchers on the side wings. To create those, I'm going to grab this 1x1 plate with bar handle. Now these are like those pieces that the minifigures usually clip onto so you can attach something else coming out, like lightning bolts or a power source. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that plate and put it on the bottom side of that 1x3 plate that's like our wing, and have it so the bar handle is facing the front and back to look like the cannons that are shooting out the rockets. Now I'm going to do that to both wings. So I got to get another 1x1 plate with that bar handle and put it underneath the wing. And now the armament and weapons of my attack helicopter is done, so I can finish building the rest of this thing. And now for the back tail rudder, I'm going to grab a 1x1 bracket plate. Now I think this is an inverted bracket. I always get them inverted and regular brackets mixed up, but I think it's a 1x1 inverted bracket. What I want to do is I want to take it so that the back stud of that 1x3 plate, I'm going to put this bracket onto the back stud so that the bracket part is facing the side. And now on the back or top stud of that bracket plate, I'm going to grab a cheese wedge slope in this black color, this dark bluish gray color, because that's my helicopter choice. And I'm going to put it so that it slopes down to the front and up to the back. So you kind of got the back tail of the helicopter. And on the other side, here's going to be the rotor blade. Now, I've seen this technique with lots of like different mock builds, and I thought I'd try it out with this one. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a 1x1 tile piece in black, and I'm going to put it on that side bracket stud, but not square and even, but like a diamond, right? So it's not even, but you kind of got these little angles. So when you put it on like a diamond, it looks like the rotor blade just going really, really fast. You see that blurb. I really love that technique. I've seen on Pinterest a lot. And now for the top rotor, the rotor that gives this thing, make sure it looks like a real helicopter, I'm going to grab a 1x1 tile with the pin holder, with that 1x1 tile, round tile with the pin holder, and put it on the very front stud of my 1x2 plate that's by the canopy or cockpit of my helicopter, like this. And then for the rotor blade, I'm going to grab this 3-prong rotor blade and just put it on the pin like this, and you can spin it and kind of give it different poses. Now, the reason I did this piece last was because this is built for larger MOCs. You can kind of pose it, make it look like it's diving, climbing, turning, but you can't play with it, because if you play with it, turn it upside down, it falls off.
If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe or check out some of our other videos. Until next time, let's keep building together.